Thanks so much. I'm Marcia Young, sitting in for Ismaila Alpha. You're listening to Metro Morning. The Rogers family feud continues. Here's the latest. Edward Rogers has once again declared himself a chairman of Canada's largest telecom company, voted back by his new hand-picked board. And it's all against the wishes of his mom and sister, who have publicly said he needs to move on. It's these bizarre family dynamics that make it hard to look away from the fight for power and control at Rogers. Charles Ticker is a mediator and estate litigation lawyer who writes a blog called The Sibling Fight. Charles Ticker joins me on the line. There have been some scathing criticisms about what's going on here with the Rogers family. What are some of the most familiar themes to you in this story about this family?
Well, good morning, Marcia. Well, what we're seeing here is a typical sibling fight. Succession problems and disputes are not unusual in family businesses. And what we're seeing here is strong personalities who are duking it out for control and not getting along. And so this is not unusual. What is unusual is that it's not typical to have this sort of dispute being all over the news with a huge public corporation. It's perhaps unprecedented to see this type of nasty dispute becoming so public and all over social media. I just find it incredible. There doesn't seem to be any reluctance on the part of the family in sharing this dispute with the public.
Does this affect their bottom line at all?
Well, that seems to be a concern. I've been reading that Rogers' stock price has been falling. They have this big merger acquisition of Shaw, $26 billion. That's supposed to be happening. And the Shaw stock apparently has also been going down. And I think there is a concern amongst investors, what's happening with Rogers, who's in control. And that's what this fight's all about, control.
You've often been asked to act as a mediator in family disputes. Does this sound like a case that you could have helped to settle?
Well, I'd love to have the opportunity to mediate this dispute. Yes, I think this type of dispute, these types of family disputes, particularly between siblings, scream out for resolution. You don't try your case in the public domain over tweets. And we often tell clients that, you don't want to have your dispute in court because you'll have a reported decision. It'll be all over the Internet. So mediation is, a private process. And, I think this family, I don't know if they need mediation. Perhaps it's family counseling. I'm not a counselor, but I think it's certainly worth a shot. But right now it's playing out before the courts. And, in order for mediation to be successful, the parties have to be willing to compromise. And I'm not getting a sense of that. So this is about control, not so much money. It's about control. And what I've seen, both as a mediator and a litigator, is that when you have families that don't get along or siblings that don't get along and they have a lot of money to spend on lawyers, it's a very dangerous combination and can lead to nasty, protracted legal disputes.
We've got the mother and the sister on one side and the son on the other side. How could they possibly come together being so opposed and taking such oppositional positions?
Well, and that's another interesting aspect of this dispute is that we have Loretta Rogers, the matriarch of the family, involved with this dispute. Quite often this dispute is just between the children after the parents are gone. So the kids maybe aren't getting along, while they're growing up, but they're sort of under control while the parents are around. But when the parents pass on, there's no more parental referees and the gloves come off. So it's unusual to see the mother and children getting involved actively in this dispute, but they're all board members. How it can be resolved? Well, I think everyone just has to cool down and take this out of the public domain and sit down around, the kitchen table, so to speak, and try to resolve this. When you read tweets by Martha that says, she says, "I'll gladly blow up my life to stop this." well, I certainly trust that she doesn't mean it, but it sort of underscores the tremendous emotions that are driving these types of disputes. So I think everybody has to take a deep breath and focus on what is important, and that is the best interest of the corporation and its shareholders. They're running this as they can, like a private family business, but it's not. It's a huge public company.
Thanks so much, Charles.
My pleasure.
Charles Ticker is a lawyer who specializes in estate litigation. He writes a blog called The Sibling Fight. He's also the author of a guide to estate planning called Bobby Gets Bubkiss, the Yiddish word for absolutely nothing. All right, how are the roads looking?
What's the word for busy, and more busy? That's what it's like out on the roads right now, Marcia.